Hello, welcome back to the 5th episode of the Triboro Podcast.
Already number 5.
That's crazy.
I
That
know.
is crazy.
Already number 5.
I'm your host, John Alonzo, joined by my co-host, Nick O'Brien. How are you doing, Mr. O'Brien?
Doing pretty good.
Very good.
Baseball is back in action.
So, it's Yankees and Mets, both won their series.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get into it in a little bit, but we're very excited.
Yep.
First episode covering actual games.
In the series, in the season, yep.
I am struggling to find the words because I'm so excited, but
Same.
regardless.
As excited I am about that, I'm even more excited about the punishment.
Yes.
So, for those that know, we've been doing the thing with Manhattan where we have multiple different competition picks. Yeah. And whoever wins the most groups of the 3, then they get punished by stuff we have on the wheel. We'll be revealing that in Manhattan. Little teaser there. And so,
Want to get into it?
Let's get into it, baby.
Let's go.
Starting off with the Bronx.
Now entering the Bronx.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bronx. The Bronx. Huge series win for the Yankees. 2-1 win.
Yep.
Or 2-1 series win. But we'll get into that before we start the recap. Just want to talk about some injury updates, some roster moves. Luis Severino has resumed light throwing. Tossed again yesterday. No issues. That's huge.
Very big.
Harrison Bader swung in a pool on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Could begin swinging in a cage. And
That was interesting. I never heard of that.
You never heard of that?
Of like
I know
swinging
guys like
pool,
run
yeah.
in a pool. I'd assume that's the same thing. Just
Right.
not as much pressure, obviously, or not as much on the
Weight.
joints and all
Yeah.
that. Take some weight off. So
It makes sense.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's what it is.
Yeah, but still. Anyways.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I saw that he's still also a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with those obliques, you want to really.
Yeah, you really want to make sure they're really.
It's 100%. If not, then it can really come back to bite you later in the season.
Tommy Kahnle has not resuming throwing yet, but he may this upcoming week. He's a reliever, doesn't need to be built up that much. I'd probably say like the late April, early May timetable. That's probably still about that.
Right.
The big one, Carlos Rodon expected to throw 2 simulated innings soon. I think they said sometime early next week, maybe a little later in the week. Potentially facing hitters. That's a great sign.
Yes, definitely.
He's probably still on track for like that mid-May-ish.
Yeah.
Like maybe early May.
Yeah. Late April, maybe?
I would be.
The earliest?
I would be ecstatic.
Yeah,
for that.
but again.
That's really it for the injuries. And then on the roster moves front, the Yankees signed Franchy Cordero as a backup outfielder. That's just like, I just...
4th outfielder.
I don't really...
5th outfielder.
The fact that he's
6th
the 4th outfielder.
Outfielder.
Yeah, speaking of which, they had to make room for him.
Right.
One of the moves they did was they DFA'd, well, not necessarily make room for him, but they had 14 position players. They said they wanted to go 13, so they got 13 hitters, 13 pitchers. They DFA'd Estevan Florial to sign or to trade for Colton Brewer from the Rays for cash considerations. That I feel bad for him.
It sucks.
Because I thought in like 2019 he had a really good spring.
Right.
Seemed like he had a shot to make the roster. Very high prospect. Then he broke his wrist.
Right.
And then it just seemed the thing of could never stay healthy.
Yeah.
Then when he was healthy in the majors, he just could not stop striking out.
Yeah, he really just needed to find where the hole in his bat was.
Yes.
Because it was a gigantic hole.
He did not have a bat.
Yeah, but at that point.
He had some pop. You'd be surprised. Skinny guy.
Right.
But he could actually have some pop. Great speed. The amount of times he pinch ran for Stan last year was just like 100. No, I hope he finds a place somewhere else.
I feel like he's one of those players where you wish he succeeded with your team, but it makes sense why he doesn't have a room or doesn't have a spot on the team. So, you just wish the best for him.
Seemed like a great guy. Hope for the best for him.
Yeah.
Some cool stories that happened over the weekend. I don't think you saw about this, but Anthony Volpe was offered the key to his hometown.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And he declined it.
Oh.
He declined it, saying he hasn't done anything yet.
I like that. Okay.
I like that too.
Okay.
Just another story about him too. On opening day only one Anthony Volpe jersey was still in the gift shops at Yankee Stadium.
And how many gift shops are there?
How much money do the Yankees make?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Another one, just another cool story, is I know you heard about this. Anthony Rizzo bought 2 bottles of wine in a custom tote bag for everyone on the Yankees. He just left them in their locker on opening day. Got any comment?
No, I think it's super cool. It's one of those like veteran things that you kind of not necessarily expect to see, but I feel like baseball has been accustomed to see those veteran guys. Nice new contracts. And a little bit of splurge. I
think it's kind of crazy when you think about it that Rizzo's only been with this team since like late in 2021 and then the last 2 years. But he's like their second leader.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like him as Judge is like 1 and no one's even close. And then Rizzo is like a secondary, kind of is like his second in command.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
It's really like interesting to see that.
I think he melded really well with the team. He obviously enjoys being there, and I think
short porch doesn't hurt.
You fans, you guys have really welcomed him, so I'm sure he reciprocates that, and he just really good clubhouse guy.
Yeah, that's really it for like the cool stories. Now actually get into the games. Pretty much what we're gonna do. We're gonna recap all the games. After we recap all the games, we're gonna go into our like overall thoughts on the games themselves.
Yep.
So for game 1, opening day, the Yankees won 5-0. Garrett Cole went 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. There was a point where he had 8 strikeouts through 3, 10 through 4, and it was just like, dude, like what?
Absolutely dominant.
And I was scared watching this game because the first hitter, he walked him on 4 straight pitches. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be a repeat of last opening day, all of that. But no, he really settled down. He was throwing like 99 in the cold 40-degree weather.
Right, yeah.
It's a great sign. Arson Judge had a home run in the first to give the Yankees a 1-0 lead. I meant the Giants. I meant the Yankees.
One of those teams.
Then Glaber later had a 2-run home run to give the Yankees a 3-0 lead. Glaber with a chip on his shoulder potentially, hearing all the trade talks. That could be. Later in the game, DJ RBI'd, and then Judge had a laced an RBI single. It was a blooper. That made it 5-0. The bullpen did its job. Scoreless appearances from Wandy, Loaizaga, and Marinaccio. More on Marinaccio later. Game 2, 7-5 Giants. Clark Schmidt did not look good.
No.
3.1 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah. I mean, the 1 walk, it first, I felt like as if he would have walked more just because of like
how high his pitch count was. And
right. I mean, 1 walk is great to see. He's pounding the strike zone. But really at what cost, I guess?
And there was something I saw, I don't have like the exact numbers, but the cutter that he added, that was kind of like this huge typed up pitch. Yeah. He had like, I think hitters had like 1 hit on it. Or no, I think they went hitless on it through the first time of the order. And then they hit around like 280 against it second time through the order.
Right. So they caught on fast.
Who knows how that's going to be. Maybe he plays kind of same career trajectory as Michael King. Where like they tried him as a starter, just didn't have the innings, and then is like a really good 2-3 inning guy.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
In that entire game, it just felt like anytime the offense got any momentum, the bullpen just gave it back.
Right.
Just a quick scoring summary. The Yankees tied it up at 3 in the 5th. Giants then scored 2 in the 6th. The Yankees scored 1 off an 8th inning Josh Donaldson home run. Then Holmes gives up 2 in the top of the 9th. That makes it 7-4. And then Arson Judge, again, RBI single to bring Volpe around the bases. And I only specified Volpe because I remember your reaction.
Yeah.
If you want to like...
This man is fast. Like, I've seen some guys run, and I love running. Like, I love going, like, first to third. You know,
I love that, too.
Second to home on a single. This guy is fast. I cannot wait till the data's out on him, and, like, maybe in a month or 2 to see where he ranks on top sprint speed. But he is fast.
Because, like, I would, like, tell you, like, he's so fast, but you don't realize how fast he is until you see it.
And this guy... He is fast. Like, there's no other way to describe it.
And the reason he has that, like, 30, 40 stolen base potential isn't even because of speed.
Right.
It's just his pure instincts.
Yeah.
And it's just...
He's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. And then to end the game, Stanton had base loaded, 1 out, down 2 runs. He hit into a double play that maybe was a no play.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird ending.
Yeah, like it was questionable at second and first base.
Right.
If the fielders had their feet on the bags.
Yeah.
And neither got overturned.
Right.
So it's like...
Talk about it more in Queens, but I feel like umpire reviews have been a little questionable to start the season.
And even on top of that, it should have been no outs.
Right.
Because I think it was a 3-1 count. Hicks took something that was clearly a ball. Pinch hitting, by the way. Hicks took something that was clearly a ball, called a strike. He ended up striking out on, I think, another pitch that was, like, borderline.
Right. Yeah.
And just, that was one of the worst games I've seen
the umpiring kind of, I mean, today's game wasn't terrible, but, like, the first 2 games, it was a bit rough.
I did also have in the notes, you can't solely blame it on the umpires. They were horrible runners in scoring position that entire game. There's also another point they had second and third, no man out for 3, 4, 5, and they only scored 1 run.
Right.
So it's like you can't only blame it on that.
Yeah.
You gotta also.
It's frustrating, but like you have to hold accountability.
Yeah. And then game 3, the Yankees won 6-0. IKF started in center field over Hicks.
Yeah.
That is
telling.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
The first inning for Brito, I kind of got nervous because I think it was about a 28 pitch inning, and you never know, like, oh, is he gonna be able to settle down, like whatever. And he was able to get out of it, no runs. Then Aaron Judge hits a home run in the third. We're like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then then Giancarlo Stanton
he did a thing.
He hit a home run.
He hit a ball.
So Jason Dominguez actually was home on Mars and took a video of the ball passing by.
Right.
Yeah, he hit a ball dead center, 485 feet, over the batter's eye. To anyone that knows Yankee Stadium, to like that beer or like the club area there in the bars. And he also hit a 117. I feel like no one's talking about that, but he also just
demolished the ball.
Baseball went far.
Ball go burr.
Then Higgy ended up hitting another home run, making it 4-0 in the fourth. Brito ended up going 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And you know how I mentioned he had 28 pitches the first inning? He ended with 76.
Right.
So he really settled down. And he has a legit changeup. Yeah. There was hitters, I think they were 0-for-6 with 5 strikeouts against his changeup. And you watch that changeup, it had some filthy movement.
Right.
He was hitting, I think, like 96-ish around there. That was very, very good to see.
I feel like more than you can ask for a debut. Definitely. Solid outing for him.
Yeah, major league debut as well.
Right. Yeah. So.
Be interesting to see how they use him in the future because they don't need a 5th starter for a bit because they have the off day on Friday.
Right.
So definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Another one is Anthony Volpe is just a menace on the base paths. He forced a wild pitch. So first off, we ended up walking to get on first. The catcher threw over, pitcher threw over. Both of them not even close. He was literally just standing on first. Then the very next pitch, the pitcher was so worried about Volpe, threw a wild pitch. Volpe ended up getting second. Then the pitcher ends up walking Glaber. Then they do a double steal. They didn't even slide. Literally, they just stood up.
Yeah.
Just the catcher didn't even throw. But you watch him, the jumps he gets on balls is just ridiculous.
It's amazing.
It's his instincts are just
off the charts.
Then Marinaccio, he closed it out. I got some stuff to say about the Ron father.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no. He didn't close it out, but he had, I think, 1.1 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. So I got some comments about him.
Okay.
Then just like our overall thoughts. I don't understand how Aaron Hicks is still on the team.
Yeah.
I just, regardless of him playing bad, if you play bad but like you're good in the clubhouse, that's one thing. Like we'll still root for you, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, but he had another quote today saying, "I just want to play. I don't want to come off the bench and face closers all day. I want to play the field. I want to play every day, and it's just what I want to do." How are you going to say all that stuff when you get benched over IKF in center field, and that's his first career major league game in the outfield?
Right.
I don't understand how he's still on this team.
It's to a point where he's a veteran at this point, and he needs to understand what his role is on this team. And he needs to either accept that or I guess you could request a trade, but, like, who's going to want him?
There was one thing that I saw. I don't know the exact date. I know it's like a month or two in the season, but he gets his 10-5 rights, which, do you know what those are?
I do not.
So 10-5 rights are pretty much 10 years of Major League service time and 5 years on a specific team. If you get that, you cannot be traded.
Okay.
It's essentially no trade clause that's like built in.
Yeah.
So if they are going to want to trade him, it's going to have to be soon, unless they get his blessing, which I don't see why they wouldn't at this point. Like, you want to play, okay, like, you can play, but not for us.
Get out.
That's going to be definitely a situation to monitor.
Yeah.
Another one is, I think this next week will definitely be key for Josh Donaldson.
Okay.
Because he had the home run. I don't know how he hit that pitch, first off.
Right.
That was, like, way inside of his hands. He's had decent at-bats. I feel like he's also been getting screwed a bit.
Right.
I feel like there's, like, 2 or 3 at-bats that he got called out.
Right.
On balls that just were not even close to
the
strike
zone. Little bit of a wide strike zone from the umpires back there. Tad.
Another thing is the runners scoring position issues.
Yeah.
It's so weird to see a team go from so good at that to so bad.
Right.
Because the Yankees in 2019 were just this off-the-charts, historically good runners scoring position team. And now it's like they squander so many opportunities. Even this game, they had base load, I think it was 2 outs, granted, but they didn't get a runner across in the first.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like they can never knock out a pitcher early.
Right.
Like
they always give that pitcher a little too much time to settle back in.
Exactly. Like in the first inning with Logan Webb, I know he had like a 30-pitch first inning or something, and they didn't. Granted, they ended up scoring 4 runs over I think like 7 innings against him, but they never really knocked him out.
Yeah.
Like you don't knock someone out when they go 7 innings.
Right.
And then Alex Cobb also, they had him about 30 pitches in the first, 20 in the second. He ended up pitching about 4 innings, but they never could just break out against him. And then
a very slow kind of roast.
And the same thing about Ross Stripling today, where they ended up hitting a lot of home runs late, but it was only home runs.
Yeah.
Like that concerns me because that's been one of their big things over the last couple of years.
All or nothing.
All or nothing, and it's just
over 162.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Please be back, DJ.
Yeah.
If he is back, that is massive.
It deepens the lineup a lot.
That is huge. Especially like we were saying with Volpe's speed. If midway through the season at the All-Star break you move Volpe to lead off, put DJ at 5, have him 5 with that many good guys that get on base, that's going to be
prime position for some ribeye steaks.
Yeah. Did Aaron Judge get better at baseball?
Aaron Judge is very good at baseball, if you guys didn't know.
He may have gotten better.
How so?
Just watch.
Yeah, no, he looks good. I mean,
no, but he's hitting about 500 so far this year. And I think one story that wasn't really talked about enough is the Paul Goldschmidt story. Did you hear about that?
His 2-strike approach?
Yeah. So pretty much over the summer. So first off, Aaron Judge and Paul Goldschmidt both won the MVP. Let's just start with that.
Yeah.
So they both got together over the summer, like, I think it was Goldie and Judge. Or no, Goldie told Judge, or Judge asked Goldie for help on, or just learning his 2-strike approach. So Aaron Judge and Paul Goldschmidt went over the offseason for a couple of months and just worked together. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
I mean, Paul Goldschmidt is arguably, I know your thought process on this, but
Paul Goldschmidt.
Arguably on a Hall of Fame track right now, and learning from him is invaluable. And if Judge just won the MVP and he's learning how to get better, which I love to see, by the way.
Yeah.
Watch out. Watch out.
And then I think another thing is, we're not a Cardinals podcast, but Goldie learning from Judge.
Yeah. I mean, if there's Cardinals fans listening and watching.
I'm practically a Cardinals fan at this point. I am practically a Cardinals fan.
But back-to-back MVP seasons?
It's scary, but I could see it.
Maybe?
I can honestly see it. If he's healthy.
We'll see.
There was a thing I saw that he's only had 1 year, other than 2016, because he played like 10 games.
Right.
that he's had a below 900 OPS.
Right.
It was about 893 in 2020 where he played 20 games.
Yeah, which he can.
So that is, he's had an above 900 OPS every year except that one.
Yeah.
And that's in like 6 years.
Yeah.
That is, I don't think that's being talked about enough. How just elite of a hitter he is.
Right. Look,
overall.
he's never gonna have a season like he did last year. I don't think so.
He's on pace to beat it.
Yeah, he's on pace. But personally, I don't believe he can ever have a season as good as last year. But the consistency, that's really all you can ask.
That's always where he shined.
Yeah. I
think it's possible. I'm not expecting it, but I honestly think it is possible.
Okay.
Because you go from having that season to then with, frankly, a shitty offense around you.
Yeah.
And then you make that offense significantly better around him. They're going to have to pitch to him more.
Right.
The only thing that I think that can hurt him is that pitchers intentionally walk him.
Right.
That's the only thing. Yeah. But the stuff where he's getting better, he's literally learned from one of the best pure hitters in the game right now.
Right.
I could see it.
Look, and he plays elite defense wherever the hell you play him.
Yeah, he can play center, left, right. Put him at catcher. Who knows? Like
Shortstop.
Shortstop.
Why
seriously. Just because we need more of a logjam in the infield. So I mentioned Judge being good at baseball.
Yeah.
Stan being healthy could, like, everyone's talking about DJ being the X factor of this team. If Stan's healthy, dude, that's
scary. It's another 35 home runs in that lineup.
35?
I'm being generous.
That's low.
Being conservative.
That's low. I think even if he's healthy the entire year, I think 40 is conservative.
Okay, I can see that.
Like, if he's healthy the entire year, and I expect 45 plus.
Fair.
Especially if pitchers are going to be forced to pitch to him.
Right.
And
maybe playing in the field, because correct me if I'm wrong, but he's talked about wanting to play in the field a little bit more. Yeah. And it seems like they're doing that. So maybe playing in the field more, stretches his legs out a little bit. He gets a bit more loose throughout the games instead of DHing, getting up to bat, sitting for like an inning and a half, getting up, sitting for an inning and a half. So,
or like
you never
2 or 3 innings.
Right. You never know. So, like, maybe one of those, just getting out and stretching his legs can be a huge boost for his health.
It's not even the stretching the legs. He has said it's just, like, it really does help him.
Yeah.
In the past, it helps with health, like, obviously, just because you're moving around, all that. But another thing it helps is that just the mental aspect.
Yeah.
Like, say you're having, like, a really bad stretch. If you're just sitting on the bench, just mulling in it.
Yeah, just like, lost in your thoughts.
Exactly. But if you could go on the field and make a difference there and at least focus on something else.
Right.
And even feel more part of the team.
Right.
I feel like if you DH every day,
you feel a bit isolated.
Yeah.
Like, I feel, because Alonso's talked about this a little bit. He doesn't like DHing. But just being on the field, being a part of the team.
With his friends.
Yes, being with his friends. Just being a part of the team. And if you're having a bad day at the plate, knowing that you can still make a difference on the field.
Exactly.
I think that's huge.
Yeah. Well, Alonso makes a difference, but for the other team.
Go Scratch.
So, yeah, another note was just Volpe being a menace on the base pass. He may steal 162 bases.
That boy fast.
He is.
That boy fast.
We were trying to find the rookie stolen base record.
Yeah.
The, like, top 20 guys are all in, like, the 1800s.
Right, so, like...
one guy had 112 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Billy Hamilton. His name is Billy Hamilton, but he's from the 1800s.
There's another
fast Billy Hamilton.
There's another fast Billy Hamilton.
So, yeah,
maybe we'll do some more research.
Yeah, we'll try. I was looking for, like, 15 minutes. I could not.
But, hey.
Yeah. One thing I had, and I'm curious, I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on Peraza being in AAA?
I think it's the right move because of how the roster is constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I feel like we've talked about it on every episode at this point, the logjam that they have on the infield. So adding Peraza is just going to make that worse without subtracting someone else. Like Glaber, like Donaldson. Maybe you're not getting rid of DJ.
Doesn't really do anything.
I guess, but still, I think it's the right move. I think he just doesn't really fit at the moment. But Donaldson's contract is up after this year, right?
Yeah.
But look, we'll talk again next year and kind of see where the infield's at.
I hate it. I think it's like the worst thing you could do.
Right.
Because at best, it's a net neutral. at best, keeping Peraza in AAA is net neutral. Because, think about it. He has nothing more to prove in AAA. So he can't improve his value at AAA.
Right.
And he's known for historically being a slow starter. So his value can only go down. So you're lowering his trade value. And I don't know.
Well, I don't necessarily you're lowering his trade value because, say you call him up, right? He's a backup infielder. Is he going to start every day?
No.
You're going to start him over DJ?
No.
You're going to start him over Donaldson?
No.
So he's sitting on the bench.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I think he should be traded. As much as I love Peraza, I want him to start on this team.
Okay, that's different. Okay.
But I don't think it's the right move for the team.
Right.
Because think about it. He is this otherworldly defender. So you want him to play shortstop.
Right.
You're not going to call up Volpe, give him the shortstop job for 2 weeks,
scoot.
and then just move out of the way.
Yeah.
So he's not going to play short.
Yeah.
His best position. Granted, he's going to be out of this world second baseman or third baseman, wherever they end up playing him.
Right.
But I think his value is a lot more at second or shortstop.
Yeah.
And I think that you could definitely get a good package for him if you trade him now.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees have a history of just holding on to these guys and then doing nothing with it. Estevan Florial.
Yeah.
Miguel Andujar, Clint Frazier, Chance Adams. What was his name? Can't think of it. Justice Sheffield. They ended up trading him for Paxton, but they traded him earlier. They could have got more.
Yeah.
They have a history of trading these guys or not trading them, and then they're busts.
Right.
I think you're just gonna have to do it. I don't want them to. I want them to be starting, but I think with how it's going, you almost have to.
I think it's one of those things where you have to choose Peraza or Gleyber.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I would choose Gleyber. I think Gleyber
to trade or keep?
To keep.
Okay.
Keep Gleyber, trade Peraza.
Okay.
I think, look, Gleyber's established.
Mm-hmm.
He's a above average defender at second base. He's shown so much promise. And even in his down years, he's had decent years. He has some good pop from the second base position. And again, Peraza, on the other hand, not proven. He's going to be a great defender. What's his bat going to be like?
Mm-hmm.
I think Torres gives you pop from the second base position that not many guys have.
Yeah.
You know, Marcus Semien has some pop. Altuve has some pop, but you look at the second base. Yeah. You look at second base, who else is going to give you 20, 25 home runs? Gleyber can.
Yeah.
So I think the right move would...
With great defense, too.
Right. So I think the right move would be trading Peraza, but... for what? That's the issue. What can you trade him for that's going to give a good return back?
Should I say it?
Not Brian Reynolds.
Never mind. Well, no, I'm not saying 1 for 1.
Right.
I'm saying Reynolds and Pereira, the 2 and 4 prospects for Reynolds. Pirates have lower value because, if you guys don't know, the Pirates tried to come into an agreement with the extension of Brian Reynolds. They almost had a deal. Then Brian Reynolds said, no, I need opt-outs and all that. Yeah. They may not give the opt-outs, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Obviously, left field to go into season was one of those big question mark positions. We'll definitely see how it goes. Keep you guys updated with that. But
But
it's tough.
It is tough. That's the thing. It's because you want to play him, but you can't. You want to call him up because you can't play him. And then he's stuck in AAA when, he probably deserves to be on the Major League roster. So you also want what's best for the player, which would, at this point, probably be traded. But you're not going to trade him for the sake of trading him.
Yeah.
You need to get something in value in return, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just, look, we'll talk again come the trade deadline. You never know who's available, but as of right now, it's a tough position.
Yeah. Then just kind of going over to the pen, I said a couple times I'd talk about him. Ron Marinaccio, I love this man. From Tom's River, there's a bar down the shore, like a sports bar that I would go to. That's the town is right next to Tom's River. I think it's literally like 2-3 minutes from Tom's River.
You know who's from Tom's River?
Todd Frazier. You didn't? Really?
Did you know that he played in the Little Series as well?
Do you know that he has a picture with Derek Jeter?
Is he really?
Yeah. You want to know who else from New Jersey?
Who?
Anthony Volpe.
Is he really?
Really?
Oh my gosh.
All right, we're stupid. No, but as I was saying, they have like a signed Marinaccio jersey there. Third game he was called up for last year.
I remember you telling me this.
I remember going there, and there was a guy with a Ron Marinaccio shirt jersey.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just cool. Just like the guy from that. He's also just a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
So far, he has 3.1 innings pitched, 0 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He has filthy stuff. I think they everyone talks about the injuries they had in the playoffs, so DJ, Benintendi, all that, but no one really talks about Ron Marinaccio.
Yeah.
He's a really good reliever.
He's extremely valuable.
I think that he's definitely going to have a lot of high leverage situations.
He should.
Come this
I think he's earned it.
Yeah.
Especially if the Yankees are kind of doing a closer by committee, most likely. He should see a couple saves, I think.
Leading into that, the two front runners for the closer job with Holmes and King, they didn't look good so far.
No.
I'm not that concerned,
Right.
especially with King, because that's his first major league game since coming off a horrible rare elbow injury.
Right.
So I'm not that concerned. He looked great. His stuff, he had great numbers in spring. That doesn't matter, but his stuff looked really good in spring.
Right.
So maybe it's just nerves, maybe it's some anxiety, whatever. I think he'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Holmes, I don't know.
Yeah.
I because he had that historic,
First
3-month stretch about that. And then he kind of just went back to Pirates Clay Holmes.
Right.
So
Which is not a terrible.
No, it was horrible.
It's not the, what was it, 0.9 or whatever it was?
0.29.
Yeah. But he could still be a serviceable bullpen option, but, it's you kind of need to keep it in the back of your head how he ended the year. Kind of not terrible, but not great.
Yeah. It's not even the end of the year bad. He did that insane stretch.
Right.
Then was horrible. And then towards the end of the year started doing solid.
Yeah.
Nothing special, but
Right. So who is Clay Holmes? That's kind of the question.
Right now, I have about 5 guys above him that I trust.
Really?
4 or 5 guys.
Okay.
I trust Marinaccio, Loaizaga, Wandy, and maybe King.
Right.
Maybe. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. But to have him as your 4th, 5th guy, it's
yeah, it's still an extremely deep bullpen.
Yeah.
But if guys like King and Holmes start to struggle, that's where the concern arises.
Yeah. That's really it I got for that. You got any overall thoughts?
I think, look, game 2 kind of tough loss, but good start. Good start to the season. I mean, Judge looked great. Stanton looks great. DJ's back. Volpe is running around like Speedy Gonzalez. Cole looked fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, Brito looked good today. And look, you got
I feel like we're not
quote
talking
unquote
about
reinforcements. What, Brito? Yeah.
I feel like we can't just because we don't know what's gonna happen next. But people got to realize how just impressive that was,
Keep an eye on
especially with how that first inning went.
Yeah. I think that shows a lot of maturity how
he
settled down. But look, I think obviously a sweep would have been nice, but taking 2 out of 3.
That's fine.
Start the season, get it rolling. That's all you can ask for.
Now, on to our predictions for the game. So the Yankees start a 3-game series against the Phillies. First game is Taijuan Walker versus Nestor Cortez. I got the Yankees winning this game.
Yeah.
And I did some research on the starters and the numbers.
Yep.
In 8 appearances versus the Yankees, Taijuan Walker has a 4.07 ERA. They've seen him
so
many times.
Right.
The
I
last
think they saw him
2 years.
Twice last year. Right?
And then the year before that, they saw him a million times.
Right. So no one knew. Obviously, he was on the Mets. So.
Not a big sample size for Nestor.
Yeah.
1 start, 3.2 innings, 1 run. So that's I think it was back in 2020.
Right.
So 2019.
That's a completely different Nestor.
Yeah, also completely different Phillies lineup.
True.
Matt Strom,
yeah.
Strom versus Domingo Germán. I mean, I have no idea.
Strom, first of all, is a reliever
turn
starter. They signed him as a reliever, I'm pretty sure. But because Ranger Suarez went down, and Andrew Painter, who was kind of their top prospect, who was kind of fighting for the 5th spot, he also went down, so it kind of turned to Strom. It's hey, can you give us some innings? So that's going to be interesting to watch.
And who knows what Domingo Germán is. I put that down as an L just because, listen, it's the reigning National League champions.
Right.
You may not sweep them. I could see them winning this. I just don't know what to expect. I don't want to be that guy. It's like, oh, we're gonna sweep everyone, dude. Yeah. So it's like I'm just putting that down as an L. The third game is Aaron Nola versus Garrett Cole.
That's gonna be. I feel that's gonna be
a good game.
Yeah.
I have them winning just because Nola got rocked.
Yeah.
In the first game of the season.
Unfortunately.
In 19 innings. 19 innings against the Yankees, he has a 2.37 ERA. But the most recent game was in 21, where he went 6 innings, let up 4 runs.
Right.
So it's been a while since I've seen him. Different Yankees lineup. I'm pretty sure they didn't have Judge in it. I could be wrong, but I think like there's some guys missing.
Okay.
And then Cole is. Did I say Cole stats? No. Cole is 5-3 in 8 starts, or no, not 8 starts. With a 3.12 ERA and 43 innings against the Phillies, but the most recent start was in 2020 where he went 6 innings, 1 run. So that's also so far away.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough game for sure.
I think it's gonna be a fun pitching matchup though.
Definitely.
That's probably gonna be a pitcher's duel. I would expect.
Yeah, probably. Some numbers that I got why I think they're gonna win 2 out of 3. Stan has 28 homers in 112 games versus the Phillies. You average that out, that's about, 40? Yeah. Somewhere around there, maybe a couple more. DJ, in 55 games, is a 304 hitter. Judge hit 320 and 2 home runs versus the Phillies in 7 games. So everyone has good numbers against them. I think they'll be fine. I think it's more going to be on the pitching.
Yeah.
I think Yeah. Another thing is last year, the Phillies ranked 25th in the league with negative 33 defensive runs saved. Phillies defense. And they're not going to have Harper in the field. They're not going to have Harper at all. And he was like
Hoskins either.
Arguably their best defender.
Yeah.
So just put the ball in play.
Right.
I think I could see a big series from Volpe again, just on the bases, just because.
Well, you got JT behind the plate, so I think that'll be a fun matchup on the bases.
Well, I was talking more of him putting the ball in play.
Okay.
Because Nick Castellanos already knows about him. For those that didn't see it, in spring training, Volpe had like a blooper that got down in front of Castellanos. It was a single. There was no way he could have caught it. Then Castellanos misplayed it. Then Volpe just said, meep, meep.
Yeah.
And then just rounded to third. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I think it'll be a good series. Just
definitely
put the ball in play. I think we'll be fine. I think they'll win another series.
Yeah, a sweep would be nice. For me at least. Beat the Phillies down a little bit.
You know what? I hope the Yankees get swept now.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I mean, look, the Phillies had a rough series in Texas.
They got swept, right?
I think they're playing that. No, they're playing tonight.
Tonight at 7?
They're playing tonight's game. So, but they lost the first 2 games.
A sweep for no reason.
Might as well. But Nola got rocked in like the 5th inning. Wheeler got rocked. We'll see what happens tonight.
No.
But they haven't looked great.
Team dealing with injuries.
Yeah, look, no Harper.
No momentum.
No Hoskins. So, honestly, I don't really know what to expect from the Phillies.
I feel bad for Trey Turner.
I do.
He just cannot win. Captain America just cannot win.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's still a good lineup, but it's definitely not what it would be with Harper and with Hoskins. That kind of changes everything.
Not the World Series lineup.
No, God, no. And, again, I think it's going to be a good pitch. Game 3, I feel like Game 3 is going to be a fantastic game.
I agree.
With Walker, I don't know what Walker you guys are going to see.
Yeah.
Because in the first half, he's really good, and then he always shuts down in, like, the second half.
Are we facing Walker?
Right.
The one that walks everyone? Or are we facing a good pitcher?
Taijuan Walker.
Yeah.
So, kind of questionable what you're going to see. Then you don't know what you're going to get from Matt Strahm.
No.
But Game 3 is what I have my eye on.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that's really all my closing thoughts if you want to.
Again,
well, I was going to say, if you want to say let's get into Queensville.
No.
You don't want to?
No, I'm just going to say that Yankees had a good start.
Oh, okay.
Keep it rolling.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
Are they going to Philly or Phillies? No. Okay, Phillies going to New York. Make sure that Phillies fans are unwelcomed in New York. But
remember, Phillies fans are Eagles fans. Do not forget that.
Yes. But besides that, let's get into Queens.
Yes, sir.
Now entering Queens.
everybody. Welcome back to Queens. The Mets have taken 3 out of 4 from Miami. But before we get into that, some injury reports, and there's a big one. Right-hand pitcher Bryce Montes de Oca will have Tommy John surgery. It's his second of his career already. He's not much of a career.
How common that's getting with everyone.
At this point, it's a rite of passage for every pitcher. But he will have Tommy John, his second of the career. Going to be out for the year, regular Tommy John stuff. Sucks for him. We probably would have seen him at some point during this year. But he does throw from a really weird, arm slot. Kind of like a weird sidearm, circle jerk kind of weird.
Where you could see the ligament flicking every time.
If you watch him, it's extremely unique, but that might cause some problems. It might be the cause, but we wish him a speedy recovery, but unfortunately we'll not be seeing him this year. Eliezer Hernandez, who I thought would have made the last bullpen spot, is actually starting on the IL with a right shoulder strain. Not much to report there. I mean, he didn't have that good of a spring. Just another bullpen spot, another spot starter type thing. But hopefully he's back soon. Good depth to have. But then the big one, opening day, before a pitch is even thrown, Justin Verlander is going on the IL. He is on the IL with a strain of a muscle I have never heard before.
And you'll never hear of again.
No. So Verlander has a low-grade Therese Major strain, which is fake.
Not real.
Not a real muscle. I feel like with every Mets injury, I have to play doctor. I have to go on WebMD and see where this muscle is, what this muscle do. It's never like a hamstring. I mean, thankfully, it's never like a shoulder and elbow. It's always like a minuscule muscle in your butt. And he strained it. No. But the Therese Major strain...
Wait, he strained his butt?
He strained his butt.
His butt?
But the Therese Major is a small muscle. It kind of connects your back to your shoulder, kind of. It's like a little strand, but it's kind of located in your lat. So Verlander was concerned if it was his lat, but thankfully it wasn't. It was just this.
And as we mentioned previously, the lats are like a big deal for pitchers.
Yes. So thankfully it's not his lat. It is this weird new muscle. That's
weird that lats and shoulders are huge issues for pitchers. Oh, but the thing connecting them, that's... You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if it's the thing that's connected, it's fine.
Yeah.
But he's still throwing a moderate intensity. He was throwing on the field, I think, yesterday or the day before. So that's great.
It's probably just a thing of, if he was 10 years younger, he'd probably start.
Yeah, he said if it was the playoffs or something, he would have pitched. But it's one of those things, it's the start of the year. You don't want to make this become something either lingering that will creep up again or something that's going to keep him out for longer than it needs to. So
listen, it's a long-term contract. You don't want to just...
And it's a long season. Yeah. So, if he misses a start or two, so be it.
Exactly.
But still throwing, so he's not going to have to ramp up as much. So, hopefully we see him in about a week or so, hopefully. Yeah. But besides that...
You should see him in April.
Yeah.
You should see him in April.
We'll see him soon. So, hopefully this doesn't become a big thing. But besides that, let's get into the actual games.
Yeah. Well, no, I think there's one thing we want to... talk about before.
Want to talk about that now?
You could talk about it.
So
we have a new number one fan.
Yeah, we are now the Dennis Santana podcast fan club. We tweeted out about Dennis Santana, one of the relief pitchers on the Mets. He had a good outing, and he showed us some love. He retweeted it. Yeah, liked our tweet. So Dennis Santana.
And we think his dad did too.
If you're watching for some reason,
we love you.
Very cool. Thanks.
You're a new best friend.
This is now the Dennis Santana fan club. But no, for
that's awesome.
Super cool.
It's so awesome.
Super cool. B, I think he's going to be a good piece in the bullpen. He's shown some promise. He has really nice peripherals. But I can't wait to see what he does for the year. So
I know Dennis nothing Santana. About him, but since he retweeted our tweet, he is going to be better than Mariano Rivera.
Probably.
He is going
At this
to
point,
be.
He has to be.
There's nothing that says that he can't be.
Yeah, very true. But just a small little nugget that we thought was really cool. But besides that, let's get into the games.
Yeah.
So opening day, Max Scherzer versus Sandy Alcantara. Scherzer went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Kind of looked like he ran out of gas towards the end. With the pitch clock, it's a lot more labor heavy, you could say. It's faster pace. You don't really have a lot of time to sit back and kind of...
Yeah. Especially because older pitchers are typically ones that take longer to throw.
Right.
Like, there was one person I saw, I wish I remembered who, so I give them credit, but they were wondering how much, not even just older pitchers, but the bigger pitchers, how they were going to fare with the pitch clocks. Like the Alex Manoahs.
Yeah.
Like, how they would be able to fare in, like, a 20-30 pitch inning.
Right.
And
so, might have run out of gas, but regardless, solid outing. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and really the 3 earned runs, I mean, 2 of them came from a 2-run home run, like in his last inning. So, again, solid performance. He kept the Mets in the game. And like I said in the last episode, the Mets hold their own against Alcantara. I mean, they scored 3 runs off of him, and they made him walk 4 batters when he had a 1.97 walk per 9 last year in a Cy Young year. Walked 4 batters.
That's crazy.
Basically...
1.87 you said?
1.97.
What? 1.97 to put that in perspective, that means that every 9 innings he walks 1.97 batters.
Right. So
that
give or take 2.
Yeah.
And he walked 4. So again, the Mets put up really good at bats.
Yeah.
The Mets put the ball in play. They play the game right. Real gritty Bulldogs, but no.
First one's in, last one's out.
Yeah, real gym rats. But no, they held their own. Scored 3 runs against him. Quick scoring summary. First of all, we're talking about Volpe and his speed. Daniel Vogelbach has really turned into another gear.
Speaking of big players.
Yeah, basically. But Vogie scored the first run of the year on a Nimmo sac fly. It wasn't necessarily deep. He probably did see a Vogie. He probably got it. He deserves a hoagie. He had a good series.
He does.
Vogelbach, since I know you're watching, go get yourself a hoagie.
Yeah. Dennis Santana, buy Vogelbach a hoagie.
Yeah, you know what? Do him a favor. But it wasn't that deep of a fly ball, and he chugged home. So good on you, man. I love to see that.
I felt it from here.
Yeah, that's mean. That's rude.
That's mean. That's mean.
Next, Lindor sac fly scored Nimmo. McNeil RBI single, and then Nimmo, with the game tied at 3, hit 2 RBI double, which gave the Mets a 5-3 lead, which would ultimately be the final score. And 3 scoreless innings from the bullpen. Robertson closed it out, which everyone expected. He seems to be the guy.
Definitely the most experienced.
Yeah, and so 5-3 Mets win opening day. You'll love to see it.
Yeah.
Next game, a lot of people had a day off, but the Mets did not. The Mets go against Jesus Luzardo, with David Peterson on the mound. His line, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
David Peterson?
David Peterson, yes. This line looks a lot better when, just looking at it in a vacuum. He was very shaky. There was, out of the 5 innings he pitched, only 1 he didn't have anyone on the base paths. So 4 innings he had traffic the entire time.
No.
So a little shaky.
Tells the whole story.
Right.
After
not a lot of walks.
A hit
I know.
Training.
The walks were my concern going to it, but he kind of got hit around. I mean, Luis Arias is annoying.
He is very annoying.
I knew he was a great player in Minnesota, but now that we get to see him in Miami, I'm not going to. And he just fits the mold of the Marlins. They're very pesky, very annoying.
It's hard because, he's not an elite hitter. He's just so unimaginably annoying at putting the ball in play.
He just puts the ball in play. He's like, no wonder why him and McNeil were the batting champions.
No.
They're very similar players.
Yeah.
I think McNeil has a bit more pop, whether that be doubles and home runs or whatever you may be. But it's very annoying, very pesky.
Then Arias is known.
Yeah, Arias is Barry Bonds in the WBC. But regardless, Luzardo gave the Mets some trouble. He is a lefty, so, as I mentioned in the last episode.
My fantasy team.
Yeah. As I mentioned in the last episode, the Mets do have their struggles against lefties. Luzardo only gave up 2 hits, but he did walk 4. The Mets really couldn't capitalize on that. Luzardo gave up no runs. only time they scored was in the 9th inning of a Pete Alonso home run off of A.J. Puck. But besides that, it was very, on the offensive side at least, very no-show for the Mets. John Curtis had his first appearance. It wasn't terrible, but in hindsight, it kind of essentially cost him the game. He gave up a home run to Jazz Chisholm, which made it a 2-0 ball game. So once Alonso hit that home run, it was 2-1. So,
but it's like the law of or rule of expected outcomes or whatever.
Right.
Rule of predetermined outcomes. Right. I don't believe in that. I don't think you do either.
No.
So it's like, who knows what happens?
Right. So who knows what happens, but, you kind of... Marlins won 2-1, so kind of do with that what you will.
It's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, but again, the Mets just didn't hit. They couldn't hit lefties.
Said that going into the season.
I know. They need to hit the lefties. Again, the Mets lose 2-1. This was the Jorge Soler game. Jorge Soler suddenly decided that he knows how to play defense.
2021 World Series Jorge Soler.
Yeah, he hit a home run off of David Peterson, which was the one run he gave up. And until Chisholm hit that home run, it was 1-0 the entire game. And Soler made 2 great catches that A, took away extra bases from Alonso, and B, saved a run. So, look, great defense all around. I mean...
Somehow.
Right. I mean, great game, Soler, I guess. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But the Mets played really good defense themselves. McNeil had a hell of a play, saving a run. Lindor looked like Lindor. Everyone looked good. The Mets defense looks great. But,
it's no Phillies defense.
No. God, no. Tommy Hunter came in, 2 scoreless innings. Good to see. He made the roster, so expect to see him a couple times. But he kind of did some filling in. But again, moral of the story, the Mets couldn't hit lefties. They lose 2-1. Game 3. Tyler McGill's on the bump in absence of Justin Verlander. McGill goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Similar to Peterson, the line doesn't look that bad, but he was very shaky.
A lot of base runners.
Yes, his velocity dipped at times, which I'm not sure if it was intentional, because I know guys like Scherzer and Verlander, they might take a tick off of their fastball, and then when they need it, they kind of throw that 97, 98.
I feel like that's more an old school approach, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So he has been talking to Scherzer and Verlander, obviously. So I'm not sure if that was intentional, but something to keep an eye on. Something I noticed on Baseball Savant as well, excellent website, by the way. His arm slot where he was throwing his pitches was inconsistent. So could show, or not show, but it could paint a clearer picture. Not necessarily tipping, but if you're not consistent with that arm slot, you kind of don't really know where your pitches are going, necessarily. So that could explain. I mean, he only walked 2 guys, but again, a bit erratic. But regardless.
Yeah, but still, that could also be like he meant to hit a spot. He wanted like pin a corner, but it leaked more into the plate.
Right. So regardless, 5 innings with 2-run ball. Can't ask for much more. Edward Cabrera helped a lot with 6 walks, so that helped. Scoring summary: Omar Narvaez sac fly drove in Marcana. Then Narvaez RBI single drove in Marcana. Back-to-back doubles from McNeil and Alonso made it 3-2 Mets.
Drove in Marcana.
He did not this time. Canna RBI single.
Drove in Marcana. He drove in himself.
No. Marcana solo home run drove in Marcana. And then Marte double, and the Mets won 6-2. 4 innings.
Wait, I thought the season was over after 1 loss.
Yeah, I forgot. The season ended after game 2 because they couldn't hit a lefty. But we're back on now because they won.
Back on.
6-2.
Give it a day until they lose again.
Basically. 4 scoreless innings from the bullpen. Love to see it, especially, Edwin Diaz is out. So it was not a question mark, but kind of like something to watch going into the season. So far, they've been great. And Omar Narvaez. 2 RBIs in this game.
As a defense first catcher?
Right, and I talked about it. One of the more underrated moves was signing Omar Narvaez. Is not a black hole in that catcher's position. James McCann is not grounding to a double play every chance he can get. So it's just really refreshing to see a catcher put up, besides Nito, see a catcher put up competitive at-bats like Narvaez did and drive in 2 runs. So he had a great game. He's had a great series overall. I'd love to see it. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he has a good year. Also makes me look better because I said it was an underrated signing. But regardless, Game 4, Kodai Senga Day. Really excited to watch him. I think this was kind of one of my more, besides opening day, of course, my more anticipated games of this series. I'll just go over his overall line first and then get into it. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 8 Ks. So I think the nerves got the best of him in his first inning. He has controlled issues, which we kind of talked about when we talked about in the past. The 3 walks kind of shows that. But, he was kind of all over the place the first inning. But he really, really settled in. It's funny because Brito and Senga, both guys making their debuts, had very similar debuts.
Yeah.
They had...
Brito's better.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
did he strike out 8 guys?
Did he let up a run?
No. Anyways. They both pitched about 5 innings. They kind of struggled the first inning, but they really settled down. I think that huge for Brito, like we talked about, but huge for Senga.
Exactly.
He's not necessarily a young guy who needs to show maturity, but he is a guy coming from Japan who's not used...
Significantly bigger investment.
Yes. He's not used to the ball, not used to the mound, not used to the pitch clock, not used to the league, so on and so forth. He really, really settled down, and for a debut, it was fantastic. After you look past that first inning, he was great. I mean, he threw 26 of his ghost forks, 64% whiff rate.
That's crazy.
Basically, whiff rate is swing and a miss.
No contact.
No contact whatsoever. Completely whiffed on the ball. 64%.
That's crazy.
At that ghost fork, it looks like it's going to play.
There was one thing I wanted to add that you said, kind of seemed nervous in the first.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact quote, but I know he said that, his legs felt like they just ghosted.
Right.
In the first, you saw that, right?
Yeah, it could be. I think it was the nerves.
He said that he was nervous in the first inning,
which makes sense.
That does make sense.
So look, I think he really settled down after a while. The Mets helped by giving him an early lead, which I'll get into. But
I feel like Miami was almost the perfect place for him to start.
I agree.
Just because big ballpark, not a lot of people there, lower nerves, and
there was a lot of Japanese media actually came in. So not necessarily a lot of people, but from a team perspective,
comparatively to Citi Field.
Yes, which Buck actually mentioned when kind of determining how he wants to set the rotation. He didn't want Senga to have one of his first few starts in New York.
That's smart.
Right. So another Buck Showalter masterclass.
Johnny Brito doesn't care.
But Senga looked great. I will say his fastball was a bit erratic. That was the pitch that seemed to give him a lot of trouble control-wise. But his breaking stuff looked good, like the ghost fork. It looked good. He was throwing strikes. But again, control is something we'll keep an eye on. But Senga looked fantastic. And I am very, very excited to see what he does for the rest of the season. On the opposite side of the mound, Trevor Rogers. The Mets scored against a lefty. McNeil worked his magic in the first inning in a little dribble, 2 RBI single. Little dribbler down the line that Trevor Rogers really didn't get to, and McNeil beat it out.
5 mile-an-hour exit velo.
Right. I didn't look at the data on it, but I'm sure it'd be something like that.
One of the lowest of his career, that was a hit.
Right, and that's just what McNeil does. That's McNeil magic.
It's baseball, Susan.
Right. And then let me just preface this. I have never said one bad thing about Tommy Pham. Always been a big Tommy Pham guy. Tommy Pham,
the ball around the park.
He did 2-run home run off of Rogers, and then after a double to make it 5-1 Mets.
Didn't you say that was your least favorite or worst move?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I think if I go on my phone now and check, you
sure? We don't need to check that.
Really? I could text my friend to you sure?
No.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
I've never said a bad thing about Tommy Pham.
Neither have I.
Never.
Never called him Tommy Famine. Never called him Tommy Sham.
No.
None of that. Okay.
We've been a very big Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham.
But yeah, he had a fantastic day at the plate. And I saw a quote just before that, going to the season, not spring training, but this week, I guess, he got new contact lenses.
I saw that too.
So he said he could see much better, which I which helps.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look, the results, 2-run home run and a hard-hit double from the leadoff spot, I might add. That was a bit questionable when I saw it, but I'm never going to question Buck again. Yeah. I shouldn't.
Buck's going to put Alonso 9, and Alonso's going to have, like, 5 home runs.
Right. And it's just like Buck masterclass. Yeah. So, Buck knows what he's doing. But, again, bullpen locked it down after Senga. Best friend Dennis Santana came in again. He looked good.
Beast.
Steven Nagosic made his debut. John Curtis threw an inning. Nagosic looked really good. He pitched the last 2 innings. But again, bullpen locked it down, and the Mets took 3 out of 4 from Miami.
Yeah. All you could ask for against division rival.
Right.
And
a very pesky team as well. Yeah. But some
on
overall...
the road, great series.
Overall thoughts, solid start, like we just said. Excellent defense throughout, whether it's Lindor. Alonso made a few diving stops. McNeil looks great. Nimmo looks great. Marte, even his speed.
Can I make a mean joke?
Go ahead.
If it's diving, it's for smaller players because like this, but the diving because it rolls around because it's bigger. You see what I mean?
Yes, because he's a larger fella.
He's a larger. Oh whoa! I never said that. I never said that. You said
with a guy the same last name as you.
I can make fun of him.
That's mean.
Because I can.
Sure.
I have the same last name as him, so I can.
Okay.
No, I am not related. Stop fucking asking.
Anyways, excellent defense. Let me preface this. I know it's only the first 4 games. I know season just started. Escobar does not look great. And Beatty, on the other hand, AAA season started yesterday, and he had a good day.
I feel like he's almost in the same. Escobar is almost in the same boat as Donaldson.
Right.
Where it's like
he's kind of on the fence. You got to pick it up.
Got a couple weeks.
Right. I mean, Escobar only has 1 hit in about 15 at bats. No extra base hits. No RBIs. No nothing. 6 strikeouts. Beatty, on the other hand, yesterday he went 4 for 4 with 2 home runs, 5 RBI, 4 runs, stolen base, and a walk. The 2 home runs were off a lefty, by the way. So he looks good. Beatty looks really good. Look, I'm not saying dump Escobar now.
Yeah.
But it begs the question, how long are you going to wait?
No.
You're going to give him a month? You're going to give him till May? You're going to do service time manipulation and wait until June? Or whatever it is?
No, it's April.
April?
Middle of April,
right.
April.
But
I think that's the most likely scenario.
How long are you going to wait until you understand that Beatty might just be the better player than Escobar? And I'm rooting for Escobar.
Maybe.
He probably is. But I'm rooting for Escobar. I love him I love Escobar the person, but, if he's not producing, you got guys who can replace him.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But, look,
I hope it
is. I hope he turns it around. But so far, not great. The bullpen looked really, really good in the Edwin Diaz-less era, unfortunately. This series, 14 2/3 innings pitched, 1 run.
Yeah.
Which was the John Curtis home run to Jazz. So, again.
I mean, he must be good because that will be the show cover.
He has to be.
Has to be.
I see his face every time I load up the game.
Yeah.
But, look, like I said earlier, Robertson, as expected, is the favorite to get the saves. He closed out opening day. He pitched yesterday. So, he's probably going to be your closer, but, I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of days you see Adam Ottavino, Brooks Raley, maybe Drew Smith. Drew Smith looked good. So
I think it's going to be like a 40-50% Robertson. Then you don't want to overwork him because he's getting older. And then
right, everyone else. Well, the bullpen looked good, and again, good start, great start even. I mean, Rogers had a bad year last year, but he is a lefty, so it is nice to see the Mets hit him a little bit. Probably could have been a little more, but look.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Right. So Mets won 3 out of 4 from Miami. They looked good. Pitching looked good. But let's get on to the preview for Milwaukee. So tomorrow is Carlos Carrasco's debut versus Freddie Peralta. Mets haven't really faced Peralta a lot.
Mm-hmm.
One game, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. So I don't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
Not a big sample size.
And also last year was like a down year, so who knows if he bounces back first start of the season. It's who knows.
Right. Lot of question marks. Then Scherzer versus Wade Miley. Wade Miley versus the Mets. 36 in a third inning, 3.72 ERA. Not bad, but
Wade Miley's a righty, right?
He's a lefty. So again, how are they gonna fare against him? Yeah. He's a slower pitching lefty. It's kind of like a Rich Hill type,
it's like pitch clock. You never know. That's
right. But they saw him once in 21, but besides that, they have not seen him since 2015. Which obviously completely different team, completely different pitcher. So again, kind of like with the
Nola.
Yeah, you don't really know what you're gonna get there, and then Lindor and Marte have some pretty good numbers. Lindor 13 at bats, hitting 385 off of him. Marte 22 at bats, 409. So look for those guys to maybe produce a little bit more. And then the last of the series, Peterson versus Corbin Burns, who didn't have a great opening day.
Yeah, that's
but again, never count out Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
5 games, 4 started against the Mets. 26, 2/3 inning, 3.04 ERA. Corbin Burns is a fantastic pitcher. If the Mets have a 3 ERA against him,
where's the game?
This is in Milwaukee.
Okay.
So McNeil 13 at bats, hitting 308 off of him, 1 home run. And Nimmo 12 at bats, he's hitting 500. So I think the Mets can easily sweep this series. Not easily, but I think I could see them sweeping the series. They've handled Burns in the past. Last year, they faced him in their playoff clinching game, and they had a good game against him. Peralta and Miley are kind of the really ones I don't know what to expect from. Again, haven't really faced Peralta, haven't faced Miley in a while. So what are you going to get? But I'll be conservative. I'll say they take 2 out of 3. Probably lose that Corbin Burns game. But knowing the Mets, they'll get shut out by Wade Miley. And then they'll
destroy Corbin Burns.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I can see them taking 2 out of 3, but easily sweeping the Brewers.
One thing, I think that Willie Adames is going to hit 7 home runs for no reason. I just have a feeling. It's not because he's on my fantasy team.
No.
I just really think Willie Adames is going to have the best season of his life.
Really?
I think he's going to win the MVP, and I think he's going to have his breakout the series.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks for the input.
Book it.
Yeah?
Book it.
All
Yep.
Right. But besides that, any other overall thoughts on the Mets?
I think Willie Adames is really good.
On the Mets.
On the Mets.
And their start to the season.
Yeah, no. You obviously, like I said earlier, cannot complain about 3 out of 4. People got to realize it's the first week of the season.
Right.
Stop overreacting.
Yes.
The Phillies, the Nationals, look back at the last 10 World Series winners other than the Astros.
Right.
They a lot of them have sucked to begin the year. Calm down.
It's
the
a
98
very long
Yankees, arguably the greatest team of all time. I'm pretty sure they got swept the first season of the year. I'm pretty sure they started 0-4.
Right.
So just calm down.
Right. And speaking of that, somebody forgot to mention in last night's game, Marte wasn't in the lineup for scheduled day off. Saw a lot of people complaining about it. Oh, it's only the 3rd game. You need a day off. Marte's an older player. He is also coming off of double groin surgery in the offseason. 162 is a lot of games to play.
Long games.
So you need to essentially load manage your
When's
older
your
players.
Off
day? They don't have an off day until this Friday coming up.
Exactly.
So it's a long week ahead. And then Nimmo today didn't play. He came in as a pinch hitter, but scheduled off day. Nimmo, again, injury-prone guy. He didn't get a lot of spring at-bats because he sprained that knee and ankle. Load management. You need these guys to stay healthy. So you're going to have days where they're going to be off. Buck knows what he's doing because Tommy Pham had the game of his life.
Exactly.
Tim Locastro got hit by 2 pitches.
Which is his
thing, so he fits in. So season just started. Don't complain about the lineups. it happens for a reason. They know what they're doing. Buck knows what he's doing, and I will never question him again. Because Tommy Pham had a really great game today.
Exactly.
But anything else?
Tommy Pham, 2023, and all MVP.
Yeah. Never once said a bad thing about Tommy Pham.
Never once.
But he looked really good. See him probably, what's today? Sunday. See him Tuesday against Wade Miley. He's a lefty, so probably see him then again. If he hit another home run, that'd be pretty great. But the Mets are off to a good start.
Yeah.
And they always do. So we'll talk again in June. But regardless, off to a great start. Baseball's back.
Yeah.
Super excited.
I'm getting anxious for this.
You're getting anxious?
For Manhattan,
he's getting
I'm
anxious.
getting hyped,
so
baby.
We'll move on to the Manhattan where we'll go over our punishments.
Punishments, baby.
All right,
see you
we'll
guys
see you
there.
then.
Now entering Manhattan.
Hello and welcome back to Manhattan. Here we have
Our
the
special
wheel that we have no idea what we're naming it yet.
The wheel of wheels.
The wheelist.
The wheeliest of wheels.
Wheeliest of wheels. So, like we said, we're going to be spinning our punishments, but we're not going to be doing it. Yeah. Our roommate Ryan is going to be our special guest. There's a bunch of punishments on there. Some range from like ghost chili pepper, eating the most disgusting thing in our dining halls.
Right. Polar plunge.
Plunge.
Singing in public, my worst nightmare.
Wearing enemy team's gear. There's even a Ryan's choice on there, which...
Right.
So if you're ready, Ryan.
Whenever you're ready. Spin the wheel.
No, I said give it a good one. That was a baby one. Come on now. Good one.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to read it out to us because we can't see it.
Yes. Announce it.
Announce it to the peoples.
Our first punishment is...
First.
Polar plunge.
Nope.
Oh, it's going back.
We're going.
Ghost chili pepper. Ooh,
that's going to be... I hate spicy foods.
I wouldn't mind that. Comparatively to the other things on this?
Yeah.
The ghost chili pepper, I'm okay with that one.
No.
I'm okay with that
And one more thing. It's kind of a surprise if we just...
What's going on?
Shut up. You know what's going on. So, something we're going to be doing is... Is my mic? Yeah, okay. Something we're going to be doing. Everyone that comes on the podcast or makes an experience gets to sign their name on here. Don't make it massive. Don't be a dick to everyone else.
Anywhere you'd like.
Alright, I'll go right here. Right above Justin's beautiful head.
Oh, my beautiful head.
Oh, look at that.
That is a great signature.
Wow.
You have a great signature.
Appreciate it.
Ryan Lim, everyone.
Ryan Lim, everyone. Forever in the Triboro Podcast.
Forever engraved. But ghost chili pepper, how do you feel?
No.
No?
I hate spicy. I hate spicy.
I would have much rather ghost chili pepper over half.
I would have done the singing. Give me the singing.
I'd rather do the ghost chili pepper.
I'll sing. I'll sing right now.
No.
Sing you a song on the piano, man.
I don't want to.
Sing me a song tonight.
No, thank you.
I'll do it.
No.
Right now.
No.
Right here.
No.
Right now.
No.
I'll do it for fun.
Anyways. But that is the punishment.
That is the punishment, yep.
So this won't happen for a while, obviously, because we need the season to go on.
Like November.
Right. But November, December, probably November, look out. This is going to make a reappearance. So remember the ghost chili pepper.
Yeah.
And remember Ryan, because we will always remember him, as he is forever engraved.
Yes.
Right there. But
in remembrance.
In remembrance. Closing thoughts?
I want to die.
Because of the ghost chili pepper?
Yes. I mean, at least not the most disgusting thing in the dining halls.
Very true. But baseball's back. We are in full swing now.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Get it. No. But we're in full swing. We're going to keep pumping out episodes after every series. Remember to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow us on Spotify. Really excited to get this thing really going.
I am too.
But besides that, thank you guys for watching and listening.
Yep.
And we will
see you guys next time.
Goodbye.